Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Now, my daughter made me I guess it's called an espresso or something. And look at this cup here. Isn't this something else? And so I thought, oh, I got to bring that one out and use that for Coffee Chat. Pretty funny if you ask me. Anyway, guys, I'll tell you what. We are hearing it. The game is on, if you ask me. All the stuff that is going down and everything right now. And of course, the Senate in a big flurry. And we heard John Kennedy yesterday talking about, oh, well, we got to vote on this thing. And if there's a vote for a recess, he's voting for it, and on and on. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you what. They cornered Elizabeth Warren in the basement hallways of the Senate, and you have got to hear her little spiel on it. I'm telling you what. Just listen to this little clip right here.
Concerned that this bill could come up before you all leave for August recess and that it might pass? Or are you hearing from your colleagues that there's just no appetite in the Senate?
Look, as far as I've heard, they've still not solved the problem of corruption, of consumer protection, of national security, or protecting our economy. And until you solve those problems, I just don't see how anyone, Democrat or Republican, moves forward on this.
Now, guys, if you ask me, that is utterly obscene. Here she is throwing down some big words. Oh, no consumer protection. Oh, the corruption. Oh, national security. Without really even specifying what those are, saying, oh, nobody's addressed that. What a load of baloney this woman is putting out. Because the fact of the matter is they have addressed a lot of these concerns. And when you talk about corruption, come on, Elizabeth, how did you get in there with a $200,000 a year salary and walk out a multi-deca millionaire? Tell us that. Yeah, right. Come on, guys. What we're really seeing here is a dog and pony show, no doubt about it. And in fact, they are going to need this Clarity Act. They are going to absolutely pass it. I do believe it. Now, they may not vote on it during this period. They might push this whole thing down. But it would not surprise me one little bit, in fact, that if they just, work through the weekend and somewhere in the middle of Sunday night, they actually vote on it and this thing goes through, it would not shock me one itty bitty bit. But of course, they're all out there trying to score some points with the voters because November's coming, guys. But here you got Elizabeth Warren, and this is really ridiculous. This woman has constantly had a hate on for crypto, has had banking lobbyists galore in her corner, not knowing this and that. Come on, that's obscene. But the point of the matter is this. She's literally come out and called her own constituents either fraudsters or tax cheaters if they're involved in crypto. Now, that's the kind of nonsense that you and I have had to put up with for literally years, absolute years. And yet, it is not retail that are out there supporting this whole space, is it, guys? No, it's institutions. If you want to think, now look at this, think about this. Bitcoin came out back in 2009, and the white paper talks about, oh, we got to get out of this banking system, because of course it was a reaction to the whole 2008 banking collapse and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, turns out now with all the ETFs that the very people that they were trying to avoid are the ones that control the whole thing, because the bankers, guys, and these major investment houses hold the majority of Bitcoin wrapped up inside these exchange traded funds. That is a fact, Jack. And Bitcoin was never intended to be a quote-unquote store of value. You just go read the white paper on that. And this is the nonsense that we have dealt with for so long as XRP holders, because, of course, the big complaint about XRP way back in the early days, and I mean 2013 and on, oh, it's a banker's coin. They're anti-crypto establishment. They're working with the people behind the scenes and on and on and on. That was the main complaint. Now, you know what you hear, the FUD you hear now is, wow, no banks are even using it. Come on, guys. There are literally hundreds of banking partners for Ripple utilizing the XRP ledger. And yes, even utilizing XRP. That is a fact, Jack. And in fact, when it comes to real world asset tokenization, which they all want, guys, they all want it. You got JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon out there saying it's time, and they want it. You know, you've got Larry Fink when he was over there at BlackRock, you know, they all want it. I mean, they all want this. You got the regulators coming out, the SEC and the CFTC, both saying, hey, we need all this going down. And the wide world is demanding it because the rest of the world, guys, they are moving forward. They got clarity. They have got the clarity. Japan has the clarity. Dubai has the clarity. The UK has the clarity. Canada has the clarity. It's amazing that the rest of the world can see this thing just as transparent as glass. And yet you get down there on the congressional floor with the House and the Senate and all these politicians, man alive, dude, they just, oh, it's too, well, we don't have clarity. And oh, well, there's just so much consumer this and that. Eh, what a bunch of hooey. What they're all trying to do is just pack their own bags while you and I languish on the sidelines. That's the game that's being played. And how many times have we seen this? They stuff these bills with all this additional pork for all their constituents and all that kind of stuff. And everyone's got to get, you know, some sort of back scratching going on before they're going to approve anything. Well, my guess is there's a lot of back scratching happening right now behind the scenes. Don't kid yourself, because they know that they need it. What we're watching here is sheer and utter theater in my estimation. And that's why, guys, I am always telling you, don't buy the noise. Don't listen to the fear, the uncertainty, and doubt. Ask yourself one simple question. Is the world evolving into a new digital technical age, or are we moving further away from it? Well, come on. We know we're evolving into it. You got quantum computing. 60+% of all internet traffic nowadays is AI. Can you fathom that? 61%. It's, if not even higher, because that stat's months old. That's all going down. We know that our monetary system around the wide world is changing. You got the Bank for International Settlements telling you that flat out. In fact, encouraging central banks to tokenize the bond market, the debt market, the beating heart of all markets. That's what's going down. And so, you know, when I look at that, I'm thinking, hey, there might be some opportunity wrapped up in that. And I'm going to put my, you know, risk, guys, on the protocols that are the backbone of this new digital economy. That's what I'm doing, because the future is coming, whether we like it or not, or whether these politicians, you know, keep doing their song and dance over there or not. It is coming. And you can bet your bottom dollar, your last XRP, that we're going to see it. We are going to see it in our lifetimes. And that's where I believe we are going to see probably the greatest wealth transfer that has ever happened in the history of mankind. You've heard me say that before, and I genuinely do believe it. Guys, the petrodollar is dead. We just haven't had the funeral yet. I mean, we got our own allies paying for liquid natural petroleum in digital yuan. You want to research that? Go check it out. France did it, and on and on and on. That tells you right there that if they're not buying all their oil with US dollars, like what Henry Kissinger worked out with the, you know, the royal family in Saudi Arabia and all the OPEC countries back there under the Nixon administration, those days are over. They're long gone, guys. We are holding on by threads, and that's why, by the way, you got the Fed out there propping up the yen, because they do not want the consequences of what's going to come to the U.S. shores for all the investors that have had leveraged that position. No, they don't. And that's what's going down. It's not because, oh, well, Japan is a nice, you know, partner, like Trump was saying, and oh, our good friend. Come on, guys. No way. No one's that nice, I'll tell you that. And especially not in business. They're as ruthless as can be, you know, and that's what they all say. It's only business, right? And all that. Guys, don't get buffaloed by it. When in doubt, zoom out. Don't listen to the utter nonsense that's going on in the wide world, and pay attention to what's really happening and how things are changing, because you know what? That's where fortunes are going to be made, guys. That's where fortunes are going to be made. And boy, do we ever want you to be a part of that. That is for sure. We are buckled in, guys, and we want you sitting right there beside us when this thing blasts off and smashes right through the atmospheres, goes way past the moon and straight through Jupiter. I believe that day is coming. And I'll tell you what, guys, you've heard us talk about all the things that we, you know, are doing for ourselves to get ourselves positioned. Well, Judy yesterday did an amazing interview with Bryce Nielsen from iTRUST Capital, and later this afternoon, we're going to be posting that, and I would really encourage you to pay attention, and you might find a lot of amazing answers in there, but I'll tell you, things are happening. It is popping, and guys, I think before this weekend is done, we're going to hear something big happening in this space, that is for sure. So I'll tell you what, until later on today, we're going to have another fantastic video for you. Have a fabulous one, and take care.